Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Justice Society World War II. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, that Movie Guy 365. Okay, Justice Society World War II is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. As you can see here, it does come with a slipcover, which is available at all your local retailers and online. There is a Best Buy exclusive that includes a figure, and unfortunately no Steelbook edition for this particular release. Now, as far as the movie itself, I like the DC animated films for the most part. I think the last couple have been a little bit on the weak side. But overall, I feel they're sometimes stronger than their live-action counterparts as far as storytelling goes. Justice Society as a group, as a team, I've always been interested in this, and I feel that they're underrepresented in a lot of their own comic books and just media in general. So I was very happy that this was getting an animated feature. Now, my thoughts. Overall, I thought it was okay. Now, I will say that the World War II being even in the title, it's a little bit misleading. There are elements of World War II. I would say the first half kind of, has a lot of those thrown in. But I will say the back half, you could literally stick that in any time period and it would work just the same. I don't want to spoil like the ultimate, the villain and, what happens. But if you watch that back half, it's a little bit too modern day, and it just kind of bothered me in that regard. But it was great seeing characters like Hourman, Jay Garrick's Flash, who I'm a big fan of. Of course, World War II era Wonder Woman. I really like that, and I would have liked a little bit more. And if they ever did a sequel, I'd be on board for that. I think it would be cool. Just kind of focus on that time period a little bit more would be what I would recommend. Okay, we're going to talk about the picture quality and audio in just a moment, but first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K edition of Justice Society World War II, and I love the artwork on this cover. I wish it reflected the animation inside the movie, but it's really cool. I actually, I wouldn't even mind having a poster of this. This is actually pretty nice. And then we have the back cover on the spine. Interior, pretty much the same. And then that's it. Really basic. Overall, very nice cover. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Justice Society World War II on 4K Blu-ray has a 178:1 aspect ratio. It is an upscale 4K picture with HDR10 for the grading. Right off the bat, I've always felt that the DC animated films weren't exactly the best representation of what HDR and 4K can do. While there are some benefits, I feel for the most part, if you A and B comparison a standard Blu-ray with the 4K, you're going to be very hard-pressed to spot differences, but they are there even though they are very subtle. Now, this particular movie itself, there's a lot of, I would say, given a vintage look to it. So whenever all the characters are in the World War II setting, the colors, I feel, for the most part, are a bit muted. So you're not going to see that redness of the Flash or Wonder Woman's, uniform or costume. And the other characters, they're a little bit subdued. And while I'll say the movie itself bookends a kind of a modern day, era with the modern day Flash and Superman, those are a little bit more colorful, striking, but they don't really go out of their way to showcase what the HDR color palette is capable of. But during those World War II segments, there are a few moments where it does come to life. I will say when the Flash uses his lightning and there's other, electronics at play and maybe an explosion here and there. But for the most part, the color palette is pretty subtle. Just don't go in expecting any kind of eye-popping results. With the style of animation that DC typically uses in their animated features, getting any extra textures or detail enhancement is going to be minute at best. It's not really that type of style. Unfortunately, it's not going to showcase the HDR in that department, so looking for that, you might be disappointed. Black level and shadow detail are subtle enhancements. There's not a whole lot to be squeezed out of this particular animation style, but when darker scenes do creep in, they look good, they look fine. It's just not going to be anything I would say be demo worthy in that area, but they're subtle enhancements nonetheless. Justice Society World War II on 4K supports a DTS 5.1 audio mix. Now this, of course, being a straight-to-video, quote-unquote, animated feature, you're not going to get the most powerful mix here, but I feel that the surround sound field is well represented. Dialogue with the center channel is clean and clear. I didn't have any issues whatsoever, and the front speakers, they handle a lot of the action on screen fairly well. The rear speakers are mostly utilized during action scenes, when the flash is running, for example, and other footsteps, let's say a random bullet or something that whizzes by your head. It does a good job. They're used fairly frequently, but, you know, once again, action I think is key with those rear speakers. And finally, the LFE channel I feel is just kind of there. It's not really going to be anything aggressive or anything to that degree. For a DC animated film, you can only expect so much, but I would have liked it a little bit more impactful, especially with explosions or something like that. It does kick on, it's just not going to be anything I would really write home about. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Justice Society World War II on 4K Blu-ray a B-. This is not the most impressive DC animated film utilizing the 4K HDR. It's okay, it's a little bit too subtle for my liking, and if you compare it to the standard Blu-ray, you're going to be very hard-pressed to find a real difference. For the audio presentation, I'm going to give this one a B. DC animated films are not exactly known for their dynamic soundtracks. While the front end sounds good and the surround sound field is active mostly during action scenes, overall it lacks a little bit of punchiness, a little bit of energy, but if you have your surround sound turned on, you're going to have things to enjoy. So that is my review of Justice Society World War II on 4K Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking this up for yourself, I will go ahead and leave an Amazon link in the comments section, but if you haven't already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.